Yeah, well, and it's a bipartisan piece of legislation, and those House Democrats are proceeding in good faith. That said, if you look at the Schumer proposal is a 1-year extension of the tax credits as is, and a step toward a multi-year extension, because there's a recognition by the Senate Democrats that, of course, simply taking the step toward a year without any further process moving forward beyond that leaves us back in the same situation. So the Senate proposal is definitively different than what was being floated out there by House Republicans. Donald Trump and his administration have made the decision to weaponize hunger, to withhold SNAP benefits from millions of people, notwithstanding the fact that two lower courts, both the District Court and the Court of Appeals, made clear that those SNAP benefits needed to be paid immediately. The administration chose to go begging before the United States Supreme Court to put a halt on that because they want to withhold SNAP benefits from children, from veterans, from seniors, from American families, and it's shameful. Well, from the standpoint of the votes in the Senate, I think what's become clear is that as Democrats, we are ready, we're willing, we're able to sit down with our colleagues on the other side of the aisle, find a bipartisan path forward to reopening the government, to enacting a spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people, and also at the same time decisively address the Republican health care crisis, particularly as it relates to the need to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, which are going to trigger, in the absence of doing that, dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles on working class Americans. The legislation yesterday, Victor, would have actually given the Trump administration the discretion to do what it wants to do relative to which federal employees it pays, which federal employees it doesn't pay, how to maneuver through the offices that they've been shutting down for months, even prior to the start of the Trump Republican government shutdown. So it wasn't a credible effort by Republicans to try to resolve this challenge. I think that the proposal was offered in good faith by Leader Schumer and supported by Senate Democrats, and our view has been that we would consider anything as House Democrats that is arrived at in a bipartisan way, that emerges from the Senate, that reopens the government, that provides us with a path toward decisively addressing the Republican health care crisis, beginning with the extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credit. So we haven't had an opportunity as a caucus to sit down and evaluate the specifics of the proposal. We'll do that as House Democrats in short order, but it was a strong, reasonable step in the right direction. Well, let me compare the two things. What I was responding to was a proposal by a handful of House Republicans who put forward the notion that they are up to extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits by a year, who have zero credibility on the issue. They hadn't even been able to convince their own House Republican leaders, beginning with Speaker Johnson, to even put the legislation on the floor of the Senate. And so it was a floor of the House. It wasn't a serious proposal being put forward by these random House Republicans.